skills. Hello, judges. Everyone say hi, judges.
So, hello everyone, this is Todd. So, hello everyone, this is Todd Polite with More Balance Media, Sabatos Management Company, and I'm a representative of Sabatos, and I want to start out by first of all saying thank you for watching and tuning in to this broadcast. Today's discussion is going to be more so in regards to the situations happening on the Gaza Strip. The battle between, I would say, two brothers and sisters, two families, and which is portrayed in the media as if they are enemies. So first and foremost, American media often focuses on German Jewish issues due to historical reasons and the significant impact of the Holocaust on Jewish communities. However, it is important to note that American media coverage is not limited to German Jewish issues alone. And we say German because of the fact that what we see from a media and the people from political perspective of Jews is more so related to the Jews who are from that particular lineage. If that is to be stated or discussed, and you can tell that just by if we get into skin tone, we get into the familiarity of how people look in comparison to people, even in America and other parts of the world. There are many different Jews, and we would say Hebrews. So while the Holocaust remains a prominent topic, media outlets also cover a wide range of Jewish issues. That's true from different parts of the world, including Africa. And we'll talk about more so the African Jews is what we'll discuss today. The reason why African Jewish issues may receive less coverage could be attributed to various factors. Firstly, the number of African Jews is relatively smaller compared to other Jewish communities globally. Now that's what some historians are saying, but when you look at the Bible, and even in the book of Luke, chapter 21, it said that there was a scattering. We said diaspora, that the Hebrews were scattered all over the world. This also might result in less media attention, as larger communities tend to receive more coverage due to their size and influence. Secondly, media outlets often prioritize stories based on their perceived relevance and interest to their audience. So you're getting information in accordance to stats, statistics, and what people want to see in whatever region they're watching the news from. This can also lead to a focus on topics that are more familiar or have a direct impact on the audience lives. So if the cause or the particular topic will help certain people or specific communities, then in some cases that will be the group of people or the areas that would get more news. So I don't want to play them games. I just want to try to produce some type of facts. So consequently, stories that are geographically distant or less well known may receive less coverage. However, it is essential to acknowledge that media coverage is not uniform, and there are instances where African Jewish issues are highlighted as media landscapes evolve. There's a growing recognition of the need for diverse representation, and that's what we're going to talk about, or with some of the information that I'm going to present. It's going to be discussing more so about the diverse, or the need for diverse representation. Let's take a look.
שוטר רוצח חייב להיות בפנים! שוטר רוצח חייב להיות בפנים! שוטר אלים, תוריד את המדים! למה?
Solomon Teka, a 19-year-old Ethiopian Israeli, was shot and killed by a police officer last summer. In March, his family and supporters showed up at the officer's trial. The officer said the shooting was an accident after he fired at the ground. He faces a maximum of 3 years in prison.
החוק שלכם, אתם המצאתם את החוק מאסר עולם. זה החוק של רצח. אז איך 3 שנים?
בואו נשב, נגיד את כל הקורבנות של הנרצח, הם כולם ביחד.
אברהם גפני! נרצח על ידי שוטר! לרמות! נרצח על ידי שוטר!
Teka's death wasn't the first to rally the Ethiopian Israeli community. Over the past 5 years, 6 young Ethiopian men have been killed by cops, according to a local advocacy group, leading to huge protests across the country. None of the officers were prosecuted until now. This might sound a lot like the Black Lives Matter movement in America, but for Ethiopian Israelis, their struggle for acceptance is complicated by both race and religion. They're facing injustice in the world's only Jewish state, even though they're also Jewish. Young Ethiopian Israelis like the rapper Teddy Neguse have been at the forefront demanding change. He's best known for the song Handcuffed, which became something of an anthem for the protest movement. What are some of the lyrics that you think speak the strongest to people, that resonate with them the most?
אני זה בעיה, אני זה המיעוט, אני זה הסיכון, זה הצבע הלבוש.
אני תעלומה, אז תביאו את הבילוש. אני זה העילה, לא צריך את הצו חיפוש. תצלם בפלאפון, תעלה לפייסבוק.
The music video was based on a real-life act of police brutality. In 2015, 2 police officers were involved in the beating of an Ethiopian Israeli soldier. Neither officer was charged. The visuals are pretty strong.
Yeah. I knew that I need to bring it to the Israeli audience, for them to understand what I'm speaking about. It's me making myself as all the issues of racism and police brutality reflected on me.
He was among them.
So basically, what my mom doing now, she's making buna.
Buna.
Yeah, it's coffee. It's like a tradition when all the family sit around the table.
Like I can help her?
Yeah, you can help her. You need to move them. You need to move them like she's doing.
The whole time?
We need it crispy but not burnt.
This is the coffee the entire family is gonna be drinking?
Yeah.
So if I mess it up, it's gonna be a problem?
You can have problem with a lot of people.
זה בסדר? ככה, קצת. כן.
Once in Israel, Ethiopian Jews found that they weren't always welcome. Since they lived in isolation for thousands of years, some of their traditions differed from modern Judaism.
יפה, וואו.
As an Ethiopian Jew in Israel, do you feel equal to white Jews?
אנחנו יהודים לכל דבר. אין לנו ארץ אחרת. ארץ הקודש, זה מה אנחנו גם מרגישים ככה. זאת אומרת, למרות שיש מוסדות כאלה וכאלה, שלא רוצים, לא כל כך מקבלים אותנו.
אני לא פחות מלבן, ברור שלא, ואני גם עושה הכל כדי שאני לא אהיה שונה, ומי שמסתכל תמיד יסתכל באופן לא שווה.
This is actually my grandfather's synagogue.
Oh, this is it?
Yeah, this is it. Yeah.
The synagogue of your late grandfather.
Yeah. It's a very special place. Yeah, it's a very special place. You're a Jew, I mean, it's not connected to your race or something or how you look like. You're just a Jew. And there's people who come here and they're non-Ethiopians and pray with the Ethiopians. And my grandfather was very believing that you should let everybody come. You should let everybody come and pray.
Late last year, Israel's top religious authority, the Chief Rabbinic Council, formally recognized the community's Jewishness. Rabbi Shlomo Omar was a member of the council until 2013 and advocated for the change. Ethiopian Jews moved here over 40 years ago. Why did it take so long for them to be fully recognized?
אין תיעוד בתעודות ברור מי יהודי או לא יהודי, אין תיעוד ברור באתיופיה. ואז צריכים לברר, יכול להיות שבשביל זה הרבנות הראשית חיכתה שיתנו לה את העבודה, לעשות אותה בצורה נכונה, בצורה מקורית ומדויקת. זה לא עלבון, זה לא שדוחים אותם חס ושלום.
Have you experienced any racism within the council that would make Ethiopian Israelis feel this way?
אני נתקלתי בבעיות, לא חושב שזה גזענות. כמובן שלפעמים מדי פעם יש יוצא מן הכלל ואז הם מקים תגובה לפעמים גם קשה כי זה כואב להם. הם סבלו שם אלפי שנים בגלל שהם יהודים, אז אנחנו באים פה ופה אנחנו צריכים לסבול ביהודים. אז אפילו סבל קטן בעיניהם הוא גדול.
The Israeli government says it's doing what it can. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has publicly condemned racism towards Ethiopian Israelis.
אנחנו נאבקים בנחישות בגילויים של גזענות ואפליה. בשום פנים ואופן לא נסבול תופעות כאלו במדינת היהודים הדמוקרטית.
Protest over police brutality prompted the government to launch a series of reforms, including opening a hotline for public complaints and creating a task force to root out institutional racism across its ministries and law enforcement. Aweke Zena is in charge of the unit. when you speak about these reforms that you've implemented, have you had any pushback from the government? Have you had any pushback from the general public?
It's very complicated, you know. It's a very sensitive issue.
Yeah.
You know, no one wants to create or to be to charge in racism.
Which reforms have been the most difficult to implement?
In my view, the policing reforms it's most difficult.
And why is that?
For us. Because first they are big organization, and second, I think they still believe they are doing good, and they are not see the problem, how they are policing, how they are treat people, how they are enforce the law, and unfortunately, we didn't yet to cooperate and to convince them to take the step to change.
We reached out to the Israeli police, but they declined to speak with us. Young Ethiopian Israeli men, like Teddy's friends, doubt government reforms can change what really matters, how they're seen by the broader Israeli society.
Most of the Israelis are not racist, but
They silence.
They are silent, and being silent when you see racism is, you know, more
Part of the problem.
being a problem.
Yeah.
So if we will fight, if we will, you know, be activists for that, maybe the rest of the Israelis will, you know, be with us and make a statement against racism.
Mm-hmm. How do you all identify? Like Ethiopian, Israeli, Jewish?
For me, I'm both of them. What first? Ethiopian. What first? Ethiopian.
Ethiopian.
Yeah.
Then Israeli.
Yeah.
And what about you, bro?
I'm Ethiopian, then Jew, then Israeli. Because I feel like they don't want us here. Sorry, man.
Teddy sees reason for optimism in his fan base. They're young and diverse.
I think that our generation is on the halfway of bringing the solution. I mean, just like for me to grow up with people who are not Ethiopian, and for them to feel about me like I'm their friend and I'm their brothers, like, so I think this is what can fix racism. When you know the person, you will not afraid him, you will not shoot him, you will not do anything to harm him, because you know he's just like you.
Okay, you can watch a movie called Amistad. Amistad is real good. It breaks that down. But let me get back to the text. So he says that, and that Jerusalem would be trodden down of the Gentiles, right? So now, for us to go further in this dissertation, we got to know what it means by Gentiles, okay? So appropriately, the word for Gentile is the word, it says ethnos, or a race, right? A foreign, non-Hebrew, or non-Yahudim. It says Jewish there. We'll deal with that another time, right? But in other words, these were not Israelites. The word in the Greek text right there tells you that they were non-Hebrews, right? Okay, so now, but I want to show you that word Gentile is not a Hebrew word, because the word for Gentile is Goy. We're going to show you in the book of Genesis. So let's go to Genesis chapter 10, because the table of nations tells you who the Gentiles are. So now I want you to look at this chapter 10. It said, these are the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And unto them were sons born after the flood, right? So every man, regardless of what anybody tell you, everybody came from one of these three sons after the flood. There was no miraculous people that just popped up from somewhere. The black people came from somewhere else. No. We came from one of the sons of Noah, according to what the scripture says, right? Now, it says the sons of Japheth. I'm going to show you so you can see. Expansion. Japheth means expansion. It's pronounced Y-E-P-H-E-T-H, Japheth. are Gomer, Magog, Madai, Yavan, Tubal, Meshach, and Tyrus. The sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz, Riphath, and Togomar. The sons of Yavan, Elisha, Tarshish, Kittim, and Dodanim. It says, by these were the isles of the Gentiles, divided in their lands, everyone after his tongue, after their families in their nations. So what you got to get out of that is these Gentiles that the Messiah is talking about are the sons of Japheth, right? Because when we see this word Gentile, right, the word Gentile, we look at it in the Hebrew. It's the word goy, right? But Gentile is an English word. So if you do an etymology of the word Gentile, I'm not going to do it in this lesson because you can go to American Heritage and you can pull it up. And you can see that the word that's being used for Gentiles is an English word that connects back to gentleman, right? Which, and the etymology of the word connects to German, right? So that's interesting, right? That word connects back to German, right? Germanic tribes, right? So that's who he says. The Messiah says that these Gentiles or the Germanic tribes were trodden down Jerusalem. That's who's tried Jerusalem down, the Germans. Now, if you go back into the King James, Genesis chapter 10, I want you to look at this word Gomer. See that word there? It's pronounced Gomer. The R, you roll the R, Gomer. Okay? The sons of Gomer are Ashkenaz. Now, so who is Ashkenaz? Ashkenaz is also known as the Ashkenazi Jews, right? They are the Gentiles that the Messiah was talking about in Luke 21 and 24. That Jerusalem would be trodden down by the sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz. That's why they call themselves what? Ashkenazi Jews. Because they're the ones that the scripture says would trodden down Jerusalem until the times of the Ashkenazi Jews is fulfilled. Okay? That's what it is. Okay? So now that we get the Gentiles, we're talking about the sons of Gomer, right? But specifically, now why did he choose that word Gentile to refer to all the sons of Japheth? That's a question that we've got to answer at another time. But since the text says the isles of the Gentiles were divided by the sons of Japheth, then we'll just lump them all in there and we'll just say that they are the Gentiles. So the town of the Gentiles also includes them as well, which includes the Greeks, the Romans, right? And the seafarers, all of them are included in the Gentiles, right? So that's what I want you to take away from that, the Gentiles, okay? So now that we're clear on that, now we know that the Messiah gave a specific prophecy that the children of Yehuda who were in the land when the Messiah was crucified would be led captive, prisoners of war, into all nations. Right? And there you have it. So you got to look at it from this angle. When you find the people that were led captive into all nations, then you have found this prophecy fulfilled.
Thank you all for